Better late than never, right? So this is the 2020 niche winter fragrances top 10. Let's go. So for those of you that don't know, I have a new format. So basically I try to bring 4 to 5 new fragrances that were released this year, and I'm just gonna put stuff that either I haven't spoke about before or stuff that I already own in my top 10, just to kind of give you guys a different twist, to try to make the list a little bit different, try not to make it like everybody else. Let's get to the top 10. So at the number 10 spot, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my favorite fragrances, and it could have even been higher on the list just because I'm going to be wearing this probably more than everything else on the list this year. But Soul Cafe by Savoir Faire. This is one of my favorite fragrances. This is so good. It's juicy citrus, sweet coffee, and smoky tobacco. And I feel like this is just blended so well, and I feel like I can smell pretty much every note, and nothing is harsh, nothing is overdone. I did do a full review on this, so make sure you check it out. The only thing I really can't smell though is the oud, which isn't an issue at all. So check out number 10 spot, Savoir Faire Soul Cafe. Coming at the number 9th spot, we have Tartan by Sarah Baker. Now, this is definitely something that I just put my nose on. Disclaimer, this was sent to me, but at the same time, this wasn't sent to me for me to put it in my top 10. So this made my top 10 because I really thought this was really different, and it was really fire. And if you like unique fragrances and you don't want to walk around smelling like people, this is definitely the fragrance for you right here. I'll definitely label this as unisex as well. To me, it's like wet concrete, and it has a sweetness to it. Like, you know, when it rains and you get that wet concrete smell, it's just something about it. I don't know, like, I really enjoy that smell. And the note breakdown is very interesting. Artistry to this fragrance that I can't even explain. This is just an experience that you must experience, with notes of hop, cedar, and tobacco being some of those notes on there. Great performer, projects very well. So number 9, we got Tartan. Number 8, you have a new fragrance. It's a 2020 release from OK Fine Fragrance. This is the vanilla rum. You get this sweet, intoxicating vanilla in the opening, and you just get this boozy rum, and it's like, it's just so well blended. And that's the one thing I really like about OK Fine, is all his fragrances are just so well blended. It's just so smooth, and I'm telling you, this house, I'm telling you guys, yes, this is a newer house and a lot of you might have not tried it, but this house is here to stay because they have some bangers. I'm going to be reviewing a couple of their fragrances coming up, but I'm telling you, this right here, if you like vanilla, if you like booze, this is the fragrance for you. So coming at the number 8 spot, we got Vanilla Rum by OK Fine Fragrances. Number 7 spot, you got a fragrance that I just did a full review on, and I called this YSL's best fragrance ever. I am talking about none other than YSL Tuxedo. This is one of the sexiest fragrances in my entire collection. This is a mass pleaser, ton of compliments. This is just patchouli, amber heaven. If you like amber, if you like patchouli, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed by this fragrance. This is just, like I said, I could go on and on about this fragrance. It's already full reviewed. Make sure you check that out to get more information about this fragrance. But I'm always going to have this in my collection no matter what. As you can see, I already made a slight dent on it. I don't have a lot of fragrances that has dents like this, so you know I must really like this if you kind of see a dent on it. Number 7 spot, YSL Tuxedo. Number 6, we got another new fragrance that dropped this year, and I'm talking about Pegasus Exclusif. Now, one thing about Parfums de Malle is when they come out an exclusive version, it just never fails. It never fails. Like this right here, I thought Pegasus was fire, But when I smelled Pegasus Exclusif, I was like, whoa. So one thing they did is they added my favorite note. So that's where they started doing things right there, right off the bat. They added cardamom. They also added pepper. But this fragrance, definitely I get darkness, a darker darkness than the OG. It's definitely spicier. It's definitely woodier. This is just an awesome fragrance. As far as the performance, I feel like it's a better performer than regular Pegasus. But this right here for the fall and winter, this is a must-have. And honestly, this probably would have been higher on the list, but I've only worn it a few times. I haven't worn it like everything else on the list. So as of right now, number 6 spot for Pegasus Exclusif by Parfums de Malle, I feel like is a worthy staple in everybody's closet, especially if you like Pegasus already. All right, top five. Now this one caught me by surprise. This is another new 2020 release, and this is by the House of Gallagher Fragrances. I'm talking about Behold Patchouli. Now I'm gonna just stop you right there. Anything that says Behold in front of his name, like it's announcing itself. It's like I'm here and I'm not going nowhere. And this is definitely here and it's not going nowhere. One of the best patchouli fragrances I've ever smelled. And you guys know I love me some patchouli. And for me to say that, that is not an understatement. I see why people have been talking about Gallagher for a long time. And this was actually my first time smelling his entire collection. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you guys don't want to be broke, don't smell Gallagher fragrance entire collection at the same time, because you're probably gonna go broke. Because I want all of them. I want all of them. Even though this fragrance doesn't have incense, in the opening I feel like I get incense, and it's not like smack you in your face incense, it's a calm incense. I definitely get some citrus. I get a lot of citrus in the opening, and it dries down and it gets chocolatey, and the patchouli comes out, and oh my gosh, the journey this fragrance takes you on is unbelievable. I'm definitely gonna own this fragrance either by the end of this year or early next year. Like I must have this fragrance in my collection. This is beautifully and massively blended, and it's just I don't even want to talk about this fragrance anymore. It's making me mad that I don't have it right now. All I'm saying is this is worthy of being top 5. Put your nose on it. Great performer, great projection. Everything about this fragrance is just amazing. Number 5 spot, you got Behold Patchouli by Gallagher Fragrances. Number 4, you got Kajal the Homme. I don't know if I said that right, but I heard a lot about this house, and I heard a lot about Pour Homme, because that's the one that's kind of like the staple. That's the one everybody talks about. Out of all the stuff that I smelled in Perfumology, this is the one that stuck out to me. Now, typically when you look at a fruity fragrances, it's not something that you would think of wearing in the winter. With me, as fruity as this was, it was also like a darker fruity, if that makes sense. And to me, I feel like it's just boring to wear the woody, spicy fragrances in the winter. So I feel like wearing something like this in the winter will kind of make you stand out a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like you can smell fresh and fruity in the winter as long as you do it right. And I feel like this fragrance has some darker qualities that allows you to wear this in the winter. One, the projection on this is amazing. You have like Granny Smith, and you have passion fruit, and I believe you have amber in this fragrance. So it's like earthy, it's fruity, it's just such a fun fragrance. It like wakes you up. Like I just love this fragrance, and I feel like you could wear it all year round. Number 4, you got Kajal the Homme. Number 3, you have my favorite Frederic Malle. Now, a lot of people would think that I'm talking about Portrait of a Lady. That's actually not my second favorite. Now, I'm talking about Promise. Promise is just such a great fragrance. Like, talk about masterful blending. Like, this is it right here. Like, the notes are just so prominent, so rich, so dark. You have dark roses in there. You got Granny Smith apple, so it's like sweet, it's tart. This is a very fun, playful fragrance. Definitely a mature fragrance though. Like I don't feel like this will go for the younger folks. I don't feel like they'll appreciate it as much. But for people that have a complex nose, for the older crowd, this is definitely a hitter. I wore this last year in Philly Fashion Week, and people just couldn't stop asking me what I was wearing, couldn't stop complimenting me. Amazing fragrance, lasts all day, definitely worth the money. And honestly, this probably would have been number one, but the other two were just so good that this didn't make the number 2 spot or the number 1 spot, and you know why. But not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite fragrance on this entire list though. Coming up the number 3 spot, we got Promise by Frederic. Number 2, this is another new release for 2020, and this is by the House of Imaginary Authors, and this is a whiff of waffle cone. A whiff of waffle cone is amazing. If you guys like gourmands, if you want to smell delicious and you just want somebody to eat you up, this is the fragrance for you. Man, I'm telling you, I sprayed this thing on my arm. I almost ate my arm off. I almost ate it. Like, I was this close. I was like salivating. This thing is so good. Like, it really smells like a toasted waffle cone with caramel and ice cream. Like, it's just so delicious. The creativity of this fragrance is just so crazy. I absolutely love it. I must have this in my collection. This is definitely going to be the next Imaginary Authors I buy. Making it my 4th Imaginary Authors. I really like Imaginary Authors. Like, when it just comes to creativity and something that smells different, like, they do that very well. And they did that very well with this fragrance right here. Number 2 spot, Imaginary Authors, a whiff of waffle cone. And they can only be one number 1, and I'm sure you guys are curious what it is. Now, I just did a full review on this fragrance, and I actually wore it on my birthday. I'm talking about Fan Your Flames by Nishane. This fragrance right here. Listen. Normally fragrances like this, I don't do blind buys. I don't pull the trigger unless I smelled it, because it is a little bit on the expensive side. But just from reading the notes, seeing coconut, seeing rum, seeing tobacco, like, I knew there was no way I wasn't gonna like this fragrance. So I pulled the trigger on it. I blind bought it, and man, listen, I'm not even mad. I'm not mad at all. Like, I absolutely love this fragrance. Like, this is definitely something I feel like you gotta dress up a little bit. This is a grown, mature, sexy fragrance, intoxicating. It lasts all day. Like, I could go on and on about this fragrance, but I have a full review on it, and there's a reason why this was my number 1 fragrance for this year, winter 2020. Make sure you guys check out the full review so you can know more about this fragrance. Let me know what's going to be your top 5 this winter. What have you guys been rocking? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for making it all the way to the end. Now, 3 things that help this channel out a great deal. So the first thing is liking this video. Second thing is commenting. The third thing is, if you like the content that you just watched, please subscribe. And don't forget to smell stylish. See you guys next time.